Oh yeah, baby. You know what that sound means, baby. Another episode of Driving with Jay. Hello. Welcome. One and all to Driving with Jay. I'll be your host this evening, Jay Bellums. Now, as you can see right now, I'm trying to get out of a spot that was very tight to get in. And I do currently hold the world record for best parallel parker in the city. I don't know if you know that. That's on my LinkedIn profile, girl. This is tighter than a mosquito's booty over here, I tell you what. Oh, how's everybody doing out there, huh? How is everybody doing? Oh, goodness gracious. That took a lot, but we conquered. Oh. Now I'll tell you something. Jay has to use the restroom, okay? Because wouldn't you know it, but those gosh darn plumbers are still in my place, you know? And it makes it hard for a Bellums to use the old restola. You know, that's what they call it in Italian. The restola. I've got to take a pissola. But, you know, I'm just gonna wait till I get to work. You know, because they're so nice there. They let me take a little bird bath in the sink. They let me they let me use the facilities. Yes. Now, today, people are allowed to, eat indoors like human beings, and they don't have to sit outside like a damn animal. So, my early schedule has kicked in. So, wouldn't you know it, girl? But look at the time. That is 9:14 in the a.m. Alright. It is early. And, there's one upside to the plumbing project. Okay? If I can just tell you. It's that I've been getting up at 7 a.m. So 9:14 does not feel early to me. And that's really crazy because Jay Bellums is known to sleep in. Back in the day, I used to stay up till 2 or 3. And I sleep in till noon or 1. And that doesn't work when you got plumbers, coming at 7, 8 a.m. So I'm feeling surprisingly chipper despite my, situation. Feeling like a wood chipper. And as always, I'm sipping on a little caffeinated beverage, so I need to spend some time with it. So go ahead and have some musical delight while I drink my coffee. So just... And we're back. The coffee hadn't made it far enough down my esophagus when I did that little scream. And I almost regurgitated. I almost puked just now. I'm just a little too excited to be doing the show. But, what's going on with you guys? Huh? Anybody want to share with me how they're feeling? Still sitting at 6 subscribers, so that's pretty fantastic. I don't know what I'm gonna do for breakfast, girl. I brought a bag of cooked rice to work on what was it? Saturday. Okay. And today's Tuesday. So we'll see how that's doing. Hopefully nobody messed with it, because you know what they say. You mess with my rice once, shame on the country of Georgia. Is that a country? Mess with my rice twice, and I'll be up in that ass thrice. My book of limericks and children's poems is dropping next Wednesday. So, be on the lookout for that. Oof. Well, do I have any news? I don't think so. Y'all are just gonna have to let me sit here and talk. I will say I'm getting more comfortable being on the microphone, because this ass muncher right here from Florida, okay, note the license plate. I just passed him. I went right next to him, and I didn't even give a care that he could see me. I didn't give 2 cares. Okay, so that's good. Getting more comfortable on the microphone. Does anybody else have stage fright? Should we tell our favorite stage fright stories? I don't know how many I have. I could tell you one. A real stage fright. I was taking a music theory class back in university. Oh, doesn't that sound good? And the teacher, you know, Miss Corey, called herself Dr. Corey. Now, okay, if any of my listeners have a PhD, which I know they do because I know my demographic, okay. But if you have a PhD in something like, you know, gardening, okay, don't call yourself Dr. Johnson. And people will be like, oh my goodness, you know, like, if their kid has some sort of accident, you know, like he pulls a pot of SpaghettiOs down on himself, you know, and he's got burning flesh wounds and SpaghettiOs everywhere, they'll say, oh, thank God I live next to Dr. Johnson, and they'll rush down to Dr. Johnson's house, and they'll get there, they'll ring the doorbell, and he'll come to the door, and they'll be like, Doctor, please save my baby, he's got SpaghettiOs on him, and he's burning up. And Dr. Johnson would say, oh yes, you know, I just have a PhD. I'm not really a medical doctor, you know, I just force people to call me doctor. So, you know, your child is just gonna have to, you know, die here because, you know, I'm not really a doctor. So don't let that be you. Don't be a Dr. Johnson. Just say PhD, gardening, or whatever. Oh, look at this man. He's doing the grapevine through the crosswalk. Oh, now he's acting all normal, now that I'm filming him. Okay, sir, whatever. But Dr. Corey was my teacher, okay? And she was this girl, you know what I'm saying? She was probably like 30. She looked like she was constantly having a midlife crisis, but she was like trying to keep it on the low. You know what I'm saying? Like right under the surface level. She was freaking out all the time, but she barely held it together. You know, kind of an anxious person. Probably because she teached college kids. But I digress. She called herself Dr. Corey because she had a PhD in playing the cello. Oh! Get the fuck out of here with that! You really... Okay, alright. Hello, doctor. Oh, hello, doctor. I am a neurobiologist, and I can fix your brain. What do you do, doctor? I play the cello. Yeah, get out of here with that. But anyway, she was a real kooky kook. Because, I'll tell you what she did. She said that she did not offer extra credit in her class, okay? She's one of those teachers with weird-ass rules from the get-go. They're like, okay, listen up. I don't give A's. But if you come to my daughter's bake sale,
we can discuss, we can work something out. But that's pretty much what Dr. Corey did, medical doctor, cello doctor. She said that she didn't give extra credit in any of her classes, but if you wanted to earn some extra points, what you could do is you could come to her performances, okay? You could buy a ticket to her performances to watch her pluck a cello. That's a good name. Dr. Pluckacello. You could come to her performances, and if she sees your receipt, your ticket stub, then she'll go ahead and give you 5 extra credit points. Ah, damn. Got nervous. Somebody pulled up next to me. I'm not 100% comfortable yet. But isn't that ridiculous? She said if you buy my CD, I'll give you extra credit. Wow. What a fraudulent fraudster she is. She should be called Dr. Fraud. Alright? So I didn't like her very much. As you can tell, because the doctor wants you to buy tickets to her show. Oof. And I went to one of her shows, and you know what? She wasn't that good. She was like B- level. Okay? Anyway, so she decided that for the final project, you are going to perform a musical piece that you write. And I think that's kind of bullshit, because what if you're like Jay Bellums and you've got serious stage fright? Your grade's gonna be affected by how nervous you are playing in front of a bunch of stinky ass college kids. I can't offer extra credit. I can't sell my CD. I can't make up the grade by saying, oh, if you just buy my tickets. Dr. Corey. I would give her first name, but I don't want to put her on blast like that. So we'll just call her Corey. Corey is her name. She's like one of the Coreys from the 80s. We'll discuss that in a minute. Corey Feldman, Corey Haim. But to make a really long story short, I decided I was going to do guitar, for my final project. And so I went home and constructed a song, and it sucked. It was so stupid. And then I got to class, and as soon as I plugged in my little guitar, my hands started shaking, and I did the performance, and it was so bad. And it's just like I was just sitting there, and you could hear the whole room's thoughts. Okay, this fucker. Alright, go ahead, you piece of... You know what? I'm gonna try to be nicer. Never mind. I hope you have a great day, sir. It is hard to be nice, girl. Does anyone else feel that way? Dang. The way that I operate, default is to just curse everyone from my little driver's seat. Just you have been cursed! Ah! So I need to work on that. But anyways, the performance was horrible, but the thing I tell myself all of the time when I'm lying in bed thinking about, all the cringy things I've done is that nobody remembers that. You could find anyone from one of my classes and be like, hey, do you remember Jay Bellums, struggling with the guitar? And they'd be like, who the fuck is Jay Bellum? Get out of my face with that. So, if any of my viewers are struggling with embarrassing memories, just know that nobody remembers, unless it was something really big like pooping your pants in class, which I've almost done as well. I didn't realize that, but girl. Okay, I'll tell you a real quick story. I know. If you want to escape, you can just click out. Fuck you. So, it was at the same school. I had a lot of really terrible memories at this school, okay? Alright? It was in a colder climate, so I was actually wearing this jacket. on my walk to school. It's a Carhartt jacket. And they're really warm. I mean, I feel like a damn snug bug in a rug with a thug, going for a tug, if you know what I'm saying. But it's a really hot jacket, all right? And I used to wear boots to school. They're like, Timberlands, partially because I'm insecure about my height, and partially because there's snow on the ground at this school. So anyway, and I'd walk to school too, okay? So that gets my body temperature at about 304 degrees when I arrive at school. And they got the heaters going, the heaters blasting. And this was also before Jay knew that he had any kind of food allergies. And he was living with some stupid people who ate the worst food ever. So for dinner, we would have like hot dog buns with cheddar cheese in them, and we'd go to bed. And then I'd wake up in the morning and I'd have coffee with, cream, and and then I would have these granola bars on the way to school that were just pure gluten. So by the time I got to school, my small intestines were like ready to evacuate, okay? And I just thought that's how everybody feels all the time. I was like, doesn't everyone just have like, really painful expanding, gas all the time? But that's not true. Some people, can digest things. Anyway, I'm just trying to paint a picture, trying to set the background. So I would eat that breakfast, okay, with espresso and gluten and cream and all sorts of stuff, stuff that into my stomach. And then I'd put on the giant thermal sleeping bag that is my Carhartt jacket. And then I'd walk to school. So literally by the time that I got to school, I was already sweating, okay? And then this classroom was on the very top floor of an old building. It looked like Hogwarts, Hogwarts Community College, HCC, baby. So I'd climb these stone staircases, and I was always late, just a real piece of shit. Didn't give myself enough time to do anything. So I'm running late, I'm sweating, I'm in my winter gear. I climb, like 6 flights of stairs. I finally make it up to the classroom, and the class hasn't even started yet, and I am a mess. I'm sweating, I'm wearing all this hot shit. I've got my crazy breakfast rumbling and grumbling. And then it's one of the... So you know how most college...
If you've had the pleasure of being to university, okay,
you will know that a lot of the classes, in the lower level classes, are easily 100 students to 200, maybe even 300 students in a lecture hall, okay? That's what I like. That's what Jay liked. But this was a communications class, because apparently you need to take a college class to learn how to communicate. Bullshit! So this class was about 15 people, and she put the desks in a semicircle so everybody could make eye contact with everybody. I'm sorry, I'm trying to be nice. I'm just having a little issues with my fellow drivers on the road. But everybody could see everybody. There was no hiding from anyone. We're set up in a semi-circle, okay? And I get up there and everyone looks all normal, I don't get how these kids look so put together. And then you pan the camera over to me, and girl, I'm a big, pink, sweaty, nasty mess. And I wasn't the smooth operator that I am now. So I had some severe anxiety because it was one of the first days of class. So I just felt anxious, because it was dead silent in there, and everyone's looking at me, and it's nerve-wracking your first few days in a college class. You want to look cute for the girls, and you want to look tough for the guys. You know what I'm saying? Girls want me, fish fear me. That kind of attitude, you know what I'm saying? Boys, I'll beat you up. Girls, let's make out. That's what I always used to say. But as I'm sitting there in the desk, I can feel my bladder fill, and then I can feel my lower intestines say, Jay, you shouldn't have done what you did for breakfast. And I realize that I have to go number 1 and go number 2 worse than I ever have, ever in my life. So I'm sitting there, and when you're trying to clench your booty so you don't fart, that takes some muscle control, okay? Control de la sphincter. So, normally I could do one or the other. You can either sit there and try not to fart, or if you really have to pee, you can sit there and try to not pee, try to hold your bladder. But Jay didn't know that when you try to do both at the same time, there is a scientific, phenomenon called twitching prostate that happens. I call it TP. But when you try to hold every single human function in, something's got to give. You know what I'm saying? Like that movie with, who is it? Tyler Perry? Something's Gotta Give. Oh, it's a crazy movie about relationships. But I'm sitting there, and I can feel that one of my levees is going to break. One of my Hoover dams is going to crumble. One of my Empire State Buildings is about to, fall. So I got to pick which one. Do I want to piss myself? Or do I want to chartoozle myself? Okay? Alright? It's going to be one or the other. Probably both. So I'm sitting there, and I start to sweat. Not because I'm hot, but because I'm starting to realize that I'm seriously thinking, this is not an exaggeration, I'm thinking I'm going to have to move states, and that I'm actually, this is the first time I'm going to lose my facilities in class. And my stomach starts making these sounds like, when the fart just has to come, but it just stays up in your stomach because you're not letting it out. So I'm sitting there and my stomach's going, and every time it does that, I think that I'm about to pee myself, because that's like a really strong physical thing that's happening. So I'm sitting there going,
Oh no. Oh no.
And I really thought I was going to lose it. And for some reason, I held it together. I don't know why I was too scared to get up and just leave. But, everything worked out in the end. Sorry to, end the story right at the climax, but nothing happened. And it was all good. But I really thought I was going to lose control in class. But speaking of that, I got to go inside right now and lose control. Music make you lose control. So I'll see you later. I love y'all.